Oh, okay, so we're gonna try to do this again. Hi guys. Hey god, this is the third time I recorded this video. The third time. It's making me question my decisions, but I shall not give up. Per.
I've seen you in a movie, I heard you in a song. Now I know that this will never go wrong.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Ada. If this is your first time on this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't be in a hurry to leave. After this video, there's another one and another one and another one and another one. Feel free to binge my videos and catch up, get to know me, and maybe you feel the vibe. I hope you feel the vibe so you can stick around. If this is your umpteenth time here, you're the real OG. Thank you for coming back again and again and again and again. Anytime I call, you answer. God bless you. We have a new video, a fresh video. So this particular video is going to be the video that will end the wedding series. If you guys didn't know, I have a wedding series on this channel. So this is the finale to the wedding series. I'm going to link the other episodes of the series on here. Please click and watch and catch up and feast your eyes. When I had this video in mind, I knew I wanted to do a video for future brides or 2025 brides, just to share my experience, and so that, you know, we could pick one or two things. I believe in sharing experiences and hoping that people learn from my experiences, regardless of the proximity of whenever you want to have the wedding. I think this video will do you some good, you know, just get some few tips here and yeah. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I jotted a few things down with my tabs. I'm going to be looking down from time to time. And yeah, first of all, disclaimer, I'm not a wedding planner. No, I just planned my wedding. These things I'm about to share, they're not written on stone, okay? It's just purely from my experience, and I think people will benefit from it, especially if you're looking to plan your wedding yourself. Yes. Before you start planning your wedding, it's good to tell yourself the truth and come to terms with it. Look yourself in the mirror, tell yourself, okay, this is who I am, this is what I can afford, and this is what I can go with. Okay, we have a lot of people these days, because of the craze of social media, everybody has this notion that, you know, if it's not Bella Niger standard, then it's not a good wedding. I think it's good for us to also sit down and tell ourselves the truth. At the end of the day, everything is packaging, you understand? So it's good to just be honest with yourself and not like put yourself in a position where you or your partner are under unnecessary pressure to impress whoever or whatever. Truth is that nobody really cares. Yeah, after the next glamorous wedding, there'll still be another glamorous wedding. There's really no panel of judges to say, oh, this person's where they made it and that person's where they made it. At the end of the day, those things doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you're happy with your decision and choice of a partner. You're happy in your marriage. These are the things that will actually stand the test of time, not necessarily your wedding. So it's good to tell yourself the honest truth, okay? Now, on the other hand, if you can afford it, please, by all means, we will buy data for you. Oh God, who does not like entertainment? Do you understand? We'll buy data for you, we'll hype you, we'll look, we'll admire, we'll cheer you on. You understand? If you can afford the whole 9 yards, please go the whole 9 yards. But my dear, if you can't afford the whole 9 yards, even if it is half yard you're able to afford, I'm sure you'll be able to use it and still make a fine dress at the end of the day. With a salary of 100k, you're like, oh, you're going to meet Vicky James is going to be the person to make your wedding gown, or Beyonce is going to do your makeup. Let's be real now. Let's put it together. Or, you know, you and your husband have like a major task ahead of you. Maybe you want to you're trying to get an apartment for the family, and you're saying that, oh, with your salary of 150k or 200k, and your husband is earning 200 or 300k, you're saying that you want beige to do your pictures. Now, I don't know these people's rate cards, but I do know that these people are like very high profile professionals in their areas, and I'm just saying that you can actually get someone within your budget, within your range, to give you something good. It might not be as woo as these people that I have mentioned, but it will still be presentable. It's all about perspective and all about facts. You just have to be real with yourself. Okay, now that you have known yourself, the next thing to do is to make sure that you and your partner are on the same page. Now, what am I saying? Let it not be that you, that is a girl, by the way, I'm a girl's girl, I'm a girl, oh god, I can relate. So we ladies, we like things to be very cutesy, very mindful, very demure, okay? And then you're marrying a husband that just wants to get married. Like, all he wants to do is take you to wherever they are doing the thing, say yes, do you do? Yes, I do. Do you do? Yes, I do. He'll just carry you, package you, and go home. He don't really care for the aesthetics. He don't really care about anything. He just want to marry you and move. And then there's you that is in, you know, taking particular details of the detailing, of the guest list, of the colors, of the mood board. I'm not saying that this is not important. So they are very important. Trust me. I came with all my weapons of warfare for my own wedding as much as I could, okay? But you have to find a way to make sure that you and your partner are on the same page, actually, okay? And then you have to actually be willing to compromise on some things, because not everything, I mean, the guy or the girl is he's not a mumu. He wants things for his or her own wedding. So you two have to be able to accommodate their own ideas. So you just have to find a way to be on the same page with your partner, okay? If your partner wants a guest list of 50 and you and your family have a list of 1,000 guests, you have to find a way to like adjust, you understand? Because let's be frank, most of the times weddings are for families, if we are being very honest. By the time they start sending you, oh, you have to go and greet this uncle, you have to go and meet this auntie is angry because we did not buy for her ashwebi, you'll just be hearing a lot of things up and down, and you'll be like, oh, this is because I want to marry. You're literally settling everybody to just marry somebody you like. After all, imagine all the years on the streets, and you're finally met someone you want to marry, and you literally have to pay through your nose to marry this person. So there are a lot of things that will come up. You have to make sure that you're on the same level with your partner, right? I know someone, a classmate of mine, she did her wedding, she got a wedding dress and all that, but her guest list was purely family. And when I mean family, I mean like immediate family. Her reception, she just booked a restaurant, about 20 or 25 guests, and that was it. She changed into a reception gown, they took pictures, that was it. It was like a mini birthday party dinner kind of thing. That was her reception, and everybody went home. Nobody beat her, nobody, you understand? It was just something her husband wanted. So it's important that you're on the same page with your man or your woman, so that, you know, you guys can flow. You get me? The next thing, oh god, I just shaked this thing, hope it's still good. The next thing you need to do is you need a list. Okay, you need to get a list. So I have a lot of friends that have got married. One of them gave me a list. It was more like something to keep her in check, more like a to-do list for her wedding. She gave it to me and I used it, and it really helped me. I'm going to, with her permission of course, I'm going to put the list in the description box, so that if you're interested you can just use it and sort yourself out. So it just gave me an idea of, okay, after this I'm meant to do this, after this I'm meant to do that, and all that. So yeah, it also helps me to say, okay, this is what I've done, this is when I did it, okay, this item I booked it on this date, I meant to pick it up on that date, I meant to return it on this date, this was how much I booked, this was the booking fee, this is the balance left, this is the caution fee, this is what they're supposed to reimburse me, you know, just to like help you know what you are doing and what you have not done and how much you've spent. It's very important, especially if you're the person planning your wedding. You have to have a budget. The essence of a budget is for you to draft things that you feel are important. That is after you've discussed with your partner your non-negotiables. Your budget is like for you to say, okay, this is how much we are willing to put into these essentials that we need for our wedding, right? So you doing that, it like guides you in speaking to vendors, in pricing vendors, in picking a vendor, right? And it also zeroes your mind to the fact that if you make a budget, you work with your budget to actually try and stick with your budget. Although realistically speaking, sometimes you're more likely to exceed your budget, right? But even at that, you should have a boundary, a level to which is a no-no for you. So a budget is just you and your partner saying, these are the basic things we need to get done, and this is how much we are willing to bring out for this and that and this and that. Now, something else that you need to consider is non-negotiables. What are things you feel like you can compromise on, and what are things you cannot absolutely compromise on? For me, one of the things that I said I wouldn't compromise on was my pictures, because they were going to be the only means through which I could relive my wedding. So I wasn't going to compromise on quality, picture quality or video quality. I want to actually be happy looking at my pictures, right? So it's important for you to know, for some people it's food. Some people want that when people come for their wedding, they will not eat again till the next day. There will be so much food, there will be so much snacks. It just depends on you. For some people it's their clothes, and they go all out for their outfits because they want to look dapper for their wedding. So you have to discuss your non-negotiables with your partner. It will guide the way you allocate certain amount of money to your budget. I'm not going to come here and sound all prim and proper and all, personally speaking, we went a bit above our budget because of a lot of things. The exchange rate was playing on us and everything was just skyrocketing. So we went a bit above our budget, and then some miscellaneous things that we didn't plan to pay for, things just came up and we just had to settle it. So you also have to make arrangements for miscellaneous in your budget, because they always come up in weddings. Something will just come and be calling extra money that you people didn't plan for, and you people need to settle it. Do your research. So after discussing your non-negotiables and drafting your budget, the next thing is to do your research. Thank God for Instagram. Everything is on Instagram. I use Instagram, I use TikTok, I use Pinterest. In fact, TikTok is so underrated. Everybody feels like TikTok is just a place for you to go and laugh and watch people dancing. But TikTok has been an app that has helped me. Even for some exams, I have found help on TikTok. In fact, it was TikTok that helped me with picking out colors, picking out certain styles and designs. It was TikTok. Then the next app that I used very, very well was Pinterest. These were the apps that really helped me. Then of course Instagram now gives access to those people that do those things, like the vendors, go. So Instagram, and the way Instagram is, unless someone puts it as a setting in their page, you can DM anybody and ask them for their rate card, and with it you can make a decision. Nobody will tell you that they won't send you their rate card. They are looking for clients, so if you ask, they'll give you their rate card. There's no harm in looking, right? So you can just weigh your options. Sometimes that person you feel that will not even charge you as much as you think. All you need to do is just to ask. Before you engage a vendor, please make sure you ask that vendor for their terms and conditions, because some vendors have certain terms and conditions. So you might be wondering, what are the terms and conditions I'm talking about? You want to know their booking percentage, you want to know whether you pay a caution fee for something, you want to know how much you're meant to pay, how much will you be refunded when at the end of the service, like if it's a caution fee, how much they're supposed to refund you. Some people don't refund you everything that is the caution fee. God, I'm telling you the honest truth. And then under what circumstances will you not be refunded the caution fee, right? Then you also want to know their refund policy. Some people run on a no refund policy. Like I had an encounter with a vendor, I had already booked her, right? And then something happened later on, and I wanted to change the logistics of our booking, and then she had issues with it, so I had to just cancel the service. And then I was asking her for a refund, and she was like, oh, she runs a no refund policy. It wasn't on her rate card, it wasn't on her page, so it kind of threw me off and all. But then part of it was my fault because I didn't ask, right? So please ask them, what's your refund policy like? Do you do a zero refund? Do you do a certain percentage of refund, so that you know what you're putting yourself into? Don't be in a hurry to engage any vendor. Don't be carried away by what you see on their pages. Nobody will come and post their bad work or something they are not proud of, right? So everybody will bring out their best. So you have to do your research. If you have people that have used certain vendors for their events, please ask them, oh, you use this person, how did it go for you? How was the experience? How was the person's attitude? How was the person's service delivery? How was the person's customer care? How was the person's feedback when you had issues with certain things? These are things you have to ask, right? and then it will guide you to know what to do and who to use and who not to use, because everybody's page is perfect, trust me. Until you start dealing with those people, you now begin to see different things and different colors that you don't know existed. Okay, so do your research. You always find someone that is within your budget range that will still give you that thing that you want. Now, most of these vendors that are high-end vendors, they have like apprentices or people that are trained under them, and then they go ahead to open their own businesses, right? So some of these people are good too. In fact, they might even just be as good as their teachers. So most of them don't charge as much of their as much as their teachers, because they don't have the clientele that their teachers have yet, right? So they will not want to start charging that much. Based on experience and recommendation, as they start growing their hair, they will now start charging. So sometimes those people are good too. So you can use those people instead of using the oga bata bata if you cannot afford the oga bata bata. Then the next thing is for you to start on time. Starting on time is subjective. A lot of people that don't know when they're going to get married, because life happens, if we're being frank. Like, take for example, there are some people that are going to start next year, and by August or even July they are married. So how do you tell them to start on time? And as I'm talking to you now, they don't have a partner or someone they're actively talking to. So how would you start explaining starting on time? So in that case, I'll say that starting on time is as soon as you decide, as soon as you are aware that you're going to get married, please just start planning, start reaching out to vendors, start doing your research. Okay, so that is starting on time, because the sooner the better. I remember when I was doing my own wedding prep, I approached a vendor in April, and she told me the price of her service was 60,000 naira. And then I approached her again in June. That was just 2 months after, and the price had become 100,000 naira. So you have to, this is the thing of starting on time, because most of these people's prices change, especially if you know that your wedding falls into a hot date. A hot date is like Christmas, Easter weddings. These are very hot weddings, like, because of the festivities of the season, it can be hard to even get a vendor that is available. So because of that, their prices are very high. So it's important you start on time. There's nothing wrong in booking your hall a year to your wedding, or booking a makeup artist a year, or whatever, a photographer a year to your wedding. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So the sooner you start, the better. Because of the way the economy is, you also see why I'm making so much emphasis on this starting on time. You have to be open-minded to the fact that you make some mistakes. You will make some mistakes. That's just the hope. It comes with the package in wedding planning. You make mistakes. Certain things you want will not go the way you want, and certain things you envisage, you've imagined how it's going to go, it will not go that way. And it's just something you have to be open-minded to the fact about, and don't kill yourself about it. There are some people that on their wedding day, the person that's meant to cook will not come, or the makeup artist won't show up. So these are things that I'm not saying is anybody's portion, no. Those are very serious things, but it happens. You won't kill yourself, or you will not say you're not going to marry. At the end of the day, the most important thing is your partner and you, and the choice, the person you have chosen to be your partner. That's the most important thing. You're happy with him or her, and you're settled, you're at peace. That's the most important thing. You also have to stay original. This part is very personal, right? It really does not have anything to do with money. It's just about your own personality and what you think, because sometimes some things in weddings are made, they are like rules that are made. We don't even know who made them, we're just doing it, right? So now, like, take for example, I watched a video on TikTok where the lady was like that she doesn't see a need of having a traditional hand fan in her wedding, that she rather use the money and get a purse. You understand? Because a purse she will use it, but after that hand fan, after the wedding, she can't use the hand fan again. And these are facts. So she didn't spend money in getting a hand fan, because someone will be saying, I mean, how much is a hand fan? It's not cheap. It's not cheap. The money for that hand fan can actually get you a purse or even a good shoe. It's just about what you feel is necessary. I have a friend, she didn't have bridesmaids. She had ashwebi, but she didn't have bridesmaids for her main wedding. And she didn't even wear a robe. She didn't take all these robe pictures. She just felt it was not necessary. And today, nobody knows. Nobody killed her. Nothing. So it's just about you and what you want. There are people that do weddings, and they have beautiful locks and they would rather use their locks. They won't want a frontal, they won't want the gel up. There are people that have full natural hair and they don't want frontal. So it's just about originality, what you want, and that's the most important thing. I think there was a wedding that was trending recently. The lady didn't do makeup. She didn't put makeup on her face, right? She just felt like it's okay. She did it for her husband actually, because her husband wanted this. But not all these people that used to carry church in their head. She doesn't fall into that category. Like, by looking at her, she's a very beautiful lady, right? But she just felt like it wasn't necessary. And to be honest, she didn't look bad at all. She didn't look bad in any way. She just carried her face like that and she looked good. So it's all about what you want. Nobody's going to kill you. Nobody's going to drag you. It's just that. Even if people kill you or people drag you, after everything, everybody will close their mouths and you move on. People cannot keep talking and talking and talking and talking. Their mouths will eventually pain them and they'll go and sit down one place. Certain things that I had to deal with are pressure, or certain things you deal with planning your wedding, pressure from family, friends, even from your partner, just to meet up, right? So it can be a lot, but then the difference is that it's having a very short space of time and it's a whole lot of pressure, and you know, person can break down emotionally, physically, safe. So it can be a lot for you, right? I remember things I had to cry about in my wedding. Ah, God. But looking back now, I'm like, thank God. At the end of the day, it was not such a big deal, if we are being honest, right? So it's just part of the whole thing. It's part of the package. Then you also have to deal with multiple opinions. People will say this, do this, especially from family members, both extended and immediate. Everybody has an opinion on what and how you should look in your wedding, what and how the wedding should go, what and how. So it's important for you to agree with your husband, so that sometimes it's also good to, like, not as much as you should be polite, especially to family members, you know, sometimes it's also good to, like, shut them up, but if it's affecting your peace of mind, so that you'll be fine and just arrange yourself. It's also good for you and your partner to work in unity. So it's not when they go and meet your husband or your wife and ask him or her something, they are saying something different from what you are saying on that particular matter. So it's good for you and your partner to be like this, so that when they come and they try, everybody will just dodge and just leave them with their wedding. That's just the best thing. Now, if you didn't use a planner, you can use a coordinator. So a coordinator is someone that works with you like a week or 2 weeks to your wedding. He gets your vendor list. So he's in charge of, like, reminding your vendors and calling them, making sure they are there on time and making sure they deliver. So it takes off that stress of you following up your vendors. That's just what the coordinator does, right? So you can get that if you're not using a planner, or if you can't afford a planner. But if you can afford a planner, please, by all means, use a planner, because it takes off that creative stress and the mental stress, even to a huge extent, the physical stress of getting vendors, right? Because most times planners, they have a pool of vendors they work with, or a pool of vendors they know about, so it's easy for them to, like, fit in certain vendors into someone's budget. You get, these are things that I thought to share. Most of my vendors, nobody stressed me. I'm going to leave the list of my vendors in the description box. Most of them are based in Eastern Nigeria, so if you happen to have a need for them, feel free to reach out. I don't think anybody stressed me there, like I said. So yeah, I think with that, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for staying to the end. This particular video stressed me, but we thank God it's finally here, right? So thank God. Thank you for staying to the end. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.